Trying to figure out if the Disney dining plan is actually worth it or just an expensive add-on you don't really need? Because here's the truth. Some people save a lot of money with it and others end up wasting it completely. And the difference usually comes down to how you use it. So, if you want to know how to actually make the most out of the Disney dining plan, you're in the right place. In this video, I'm going to quickly break down what the Disney dining plan is, how to book it, and most importantly, how to use it in a way that actually makes it work for your trip, because that's where most people get it wrong. Hey, it's Jessica with Happily Everywhere Travel Blog. If you love Disney resort reviews, planning tips, and making the most out of your vacation, you're in the right place. So really quickly, if you're new to this, here's what the Disney dining plan actually is. It's a prepaid meal package to add to your Disney resort stay, and instead of paying for food throughout your trip, you're using dining credits. Depending on the plan you choose, you'll get a set number of table service meals, quick service meals, and snack credits per night of your stay, and those credits can be used all across Disney World at participating restaurants, resorts, and even some of your favorite snack carts. Now, there are a few different versions of the Disney dining plan, and which one makes sense really depends on how you like to eat on vacation. Right now, there are two main options: the quick service plan, which gives you 2 quick service meals and 1 snack per night of stay, and the table service plan, which includes 1 sit-down meal, 1 quick service meal, and 1 snack per night. Both come with a refillable mug to use during your stay. So it really comes down to this. Do you want mostly quick grab-and-go meals, or do you want at least 1 sit-down dining experience each day? And then, starting in 2027, Disney is bringing back a third option, the Deluxe Dining Plan, which includes 2 table service credits, 1 quick service credit, and 1 snack credit per night of stay. This one is geared towards bigger eaters or more food-focused trips, since many signature or higher-end restaurants require 2 table service credits for 1 meal. Now, there are a lot of little nuances when it comes to booking the Disney dining plan, and honestly, it can feel a little confusing at first, but here's what actually matters. The dining plan is tied to your Disney resort stay, so you do have to be staying on property to add it. When you book it, it's for the entire length of stay. You can't just add it for a day or 2, and everyone in your room has to be on the same plan, so you can't mix and match between people. And your credits are loaded onto your account for your whole trip, so you don't have to use them day by day. You can spread them out however you want. You'll also be able to see your remaining credits right in the My Disney Experience app, which makes it really easy to keep track as you go. And that might sound simple, but this is where a lot of people start to lose money without even realizing it. Because once you're on your trip, it's really easy to just start using credits without thinking about the bigger picture. So, if you actually want to come out ahead with the Disney dining plan, there are a few key things you need to do differently. First is that where you use your credits matters a lot. Not all table service restaurants are created equal when it comes to value. Places like character dining, buffets, and all-you-care-to-enjoy meals are usually some of the best uses of a credit. Think Tusker House or Topolino's Terrace or Akershus for breakfast. Those tend to give you a lot more value compared to lower-cost a la carte restaurants. And just to give you a quick reference point, the table service dining plan right now is around $98 per adult per night of your stay. So if you're using 1 table service credit, 1 quick service credit, and 1 snack each day, you want to be getting close to that value, or more, to really make it work. And this is where your restaurant choices really start to matter. For example, something like Ohana at Disney's Polynesian Village Resort is typically in the mid to high $60 range per adult, and that includes an all-you-care-to-enjoy meal plus a drink. Compared to a place like Beaches and Cream over at Disney's Yacht and Beach Club, where you might be spending closer to $20 or $30 per entree, even if you add a drink, it's still usually quite a bit less overall. Both use 1 table service credit, but one is going to give you a lot more value than the other. And this is where that really starts to show up. A lot of people use credits at lower cost restaurants, save too many for the last day, or just don't have a plan going in. Another thing is a lot of guests don't realize that the dining plan includes an alcoholic beverage with your meal for guests over 21, and that applies to both quick service and table service meals. Now, there are a few exceptions. Some specialty or souvenir-style drinks usually aren't included, but for the most part, standard beer, wine, and cocktails are covered. So, if that's something you would normally order anyways, it's an easy way to get a little more value out of your credits without doing anything extra. The next thing to consider is that snack credits matter more than people think. The same idea applies here. Where you use them can make a big difference. Using snack credits in the parks, especially at places with more substantial options, tends to go a lot further than using them at resort quick service locations. Sometimes that's the difference between a plate of beignets or a bag of sliced apples. Now, something I see all the time on checkout day. Families scrambling to use up their last few credits before heading home. And that's exactly what you want to avoid. Because when you save too many credits to the end of your trip, you usually end up just trying to use them instead of using them well. And this is really important. Don't let the dining plan completely dictate where you eat. Because once you start choosing restaurants based only on value, you can end up skipping places you actually wanted to try. My biggest piece of advice, have a plan before your trip. Know where you want to eat, whether that's in the parks, at a Disney resort, or at Disney Springs before your dining window opens. That way, when the 60-day mark hits, you're not scrambling trying to make it all work. You're booking with intention and using your credits in a way that actually fits your trip, without throwing off the whole vibe. And just something to be aware of, most people end up eating way more on the dining plan than they normally would. Because everything's already paid for, it's really easy to try to get your money's worth, even if you're not that hungry. So if you're worried that the credits you're given won't be enough to cover a full day of food, don't stress. In most cases, it's actually more than enough. It just depends on how you use it. So yes, if you use it strategically, you can absolutely come out ahead. But there's one factor that can make a bigger difference than anything else. Kids. Because the dining plan works very differently depending on who you're traveling with. And when you add kids into the mix, especially when Disney is running promotions where kids get the dining plan for free, the value can shift dramatically. Now, you're getting all of those meals, snacks, and character experiences without paying for an entire extra person. And that's where it becomes much easier to really get ahead, sometimes by a lot. Because the types of meals that tend to give you the most value, character dining, buffets, and all you care to enjoy restaurants, are also the exact kind of experiences that families with kids are already planning to do. And let's be honest, you're usually paying a pretty high price for kids to eat not all that much. So when kids are included for free, it definitely softens the blow, especially knowing they're probably only going to eat a few bites anyways. So when you look at it that way, it really starts to make sense why the dining plan works so well for some trips and not for others. So if you're trying to decide if it's worth it for your trip, it really comes down to two things: how you like to eat on vacation and who you're traveling with. If you're traveling with kids, especially during a promotion, it can be a really great value. But if you're looking for more flexibility, lighter meals, or higher-end dining experiences, it might not be the best fit. So yes, you can beat the Disney dining plan, but the real win isn't just saving money. It's making sure the way you're using it is actually fitting into the kind of trip you want to have. And if you want to know exactly which restaurants, snack credits, and dining options give you the most bang for your buck, make sure you're subscribed because I break all of that down in other videos here on the channel to help you plan the smartest Disney trip possible. I'm Jessica with Happily Everywhere Travel Blog, and I will see you in the next one.